The following podcast is an enticing media production. Thank you for listening to this podcast. You are now socially obligated to pour yourself a drink, and welcome to the Drunk Squirrel.
I've been dealing with Santa and a photographer, and now I'm dealing with you. Oh, wait, and the photographer again.
I'm concerned that you were attempting to lubricate me.
With whiskey. It only took 2 years to get you to this point. Well, no, it was less than 2 years.
But you know, it's tequila that makes our clothes fall off, though.
One tequila, two tequila, three tequila, floor.
Yes. I do play that on flip-flops and beer, by the way. We have started recording, by the way.
You know what my favorite song from Flip Flops and Beer is?
You have a favorite song?
I do.
What is it?
It's the Tito's song.
Show me your Tito's.
There it is. Every time I'm just cracking up.
Jenny Lee Brown.
Yes, so you are recording.
I am.
And we have a guest.
We do.
Who she has called herself the backup guest.
And...
Because I am.
Which is fair but unfair.
Well, one thing...
I'll call it 50-50.
One thing we need... Let me turn the ringer off of my phone, first off.
Oh.
Kelly is backdoor famous.
Oh, here we go.
Whoa. Whoa.
That's an inside joke.
That's an inside joke.
I got that. I'm sitting on the outside going, whoa.
Yeah.
I guess when you say that somebody's backdoor famous, though, and say it's an inside joke, that continues the joke, right?
I mean, we were talking boudoir photography earlier.
We were. I mean, with good reason, though. Somewhat good reason.
It was
Kelly's
just
a photographer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. To be fair, she's not a boudoir photographer.
Not, no.
She's not.
It was that, would you do these kinds of photos? Questions.
Would you rather?
Yeah. Would you rather photograph random naked people who pay you money so they can post it on OnlyFans? Or...
So I will introduce Kelly a bit, and then Rob, you can explain why why this is all worked out timing-wise.
Yes.
So is that fair?
Fair.
Okay. So Kelly, welcome.
Thank you.
Our guest today is Kelly Johnson from Kelly Johnson Photography. You may know that because her name is in the name of the business, that she owns the business.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need to say that, but I feel like,
Really?
it's a relevant thing.
I didn't realize you owned the business.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm sorry. That was that
Wait.
sarcastic piece we were talking about earlier.
Sometimes. You had me convinced for a second. You had me convinced that you didn't know that. But more importantly, Kelly is a great friend, and she's also a host on Sandcastle Radio, as Nell and I are, of Ask the Expert, not Axe the Expert. Ask the Expert.
Glad he...
Which
everyone says that.
I know it's when you're saying it, it's hard. Axe rolls off the tongue.
Ask the expert.
More than ask. At least for me, it does.
Wow, okay, I'm over here sitting in the special corner because I definitely have heard like one different thing.
One different thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But
Ask
anyway.
the expert. Whew, it has been a day.
It has been a day. So you guys have been hanging out all day.
Yeah,
Yes.
So Kelly and I have been hanging out. Well, let me rephrase that. Kelly has been stuck with me. I have had a marvelous day.
The only reason she was stuck with you is because you were paying her.
And you know what? She's well worth every penny.
She absolutely is.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh. So yeah, I reached out and got connected to you through
Yes.
Nell and everything, and I hired you to do the event that we had at the church, Storytime with St. Nick.
I'm glad you clarified that's why you hired me, Rob.
I will be very clear about why I hire photographers. And you hung out for 2 hours today at the church with me, and who was a phenomenal Santa, which we had on.
Mm-hmm.
It was about 1.5 years ago. Wow, that was pretty early.
It's been a bit, yeah.
Yeah. And so phenomenal Santa. We had him
for
out
sure.
there. We had you out there.
He was a real bearded Santa.
Oh, full
Like the
beard.
real deal. amazing.
Okay,
Like some people were just born to do this, and he was definitely born to be
this is the
Santa.
first time you have met him.
Yes.
Like, what was your thought?
I was a little bit in awe. Because my favorite Christmas movie is The Polar Express.
Oh.
And I love the old world Santa from
Yeah.
that movie. Like I probably cry every time I see it. Even though I know what's, coming in the movie. And he kind of reminded me of that Santa a little bit.
Okay, so you brought this up, and I'll be open about it. But like every time we've done this event and I've worked with William, there's always a piece of me that is always choking up just a bit with the magic that he brings, with the connection he brings, with who he is.
Yep.
And I mean, today, we've done this event for 6 or 7 years. Today was huge. This is the biggest we've ever had. And we hired you on to come and just take photos of the community members who wanted to get pictures with Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Free to them. We covered all of that. And you took amazing photos.
Thank you.
You really did. Like my family went through, and my wife loved them. She already has them posted on Facebook.
Oh, good. I hope she tagged me.
No, she didn't. We'll fix that. We'll fix that. Yeah, if you're looking for a photographer, I mean, Kelly Johnson, you did really good
Thank you.
work. So Central PA, look for Kelly.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Can I ask something here? Jump in. Is this the first time you had a professional photographer do the photos, or is it not? That's a fair question. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, so last year, you remember this? What did I do? Around this time.
Yeah. Oh, you were the mall Santa.
I was the mall Santa. So like second-rate Santa.
Lebanon Valley. You're cutting yourself short. You were a good Santa.
Second-rate Santa.
Okay, fine. You can say what you want,
Okay.
but you were a good Santa.
Compare me to William. I am second-rate.
Well, that's not a fair comparison to anybody.
It probably also takes practice. Like he's not as good as he was like today, like as he was when he first started.
She's 100% right, I'm sure.
Right.
Because I don't know, Rob, if you heard him, like if you could hear him conversing with the kids.
Oh, I've heard
like
him.
it was amazing. This is what he was saying, and like he would ask the kids like what they wanted for Christmas, and they would tell him, I want a phone, I want this, I want these toys, and okay, that's great. And he would usually finish up his conversation with, but remember, I'm not the reason for this season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
and
that hit.
That's really cool.
See, and now this is why I say I'm second rate, because what I was doing at the mall, it's very boxed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that freedom.
Sure.
And it's canned photography, it's canned setting, it's limited, da. And the whole point with that is they were selling like $30 packages to get in, have the photos snapped, and that was it. Which is where this came from. Hey-o, as he takes a picture.
I couldn't get us all in the same photo.
But that's where this came from, where it's, okay, wait a minute. If this is how much the mall is charging for second-rate Santa me, boxed photography, I know I can hire a better photographer. I know I have a better Santa. And I know I can easily create a backdrop at the church. It's not horrible. And the community responded.
Yeah.
They showed up. I mean, a quarter of the people who showed up today, I knew. 3/4 were brand new. And it just blew me away.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what you're looking for, though. You're doing community outreach, basically, at that moment. So you're looking, you want to see familiar faces, but you want to see other people come in.
Yeah. It was interesting. Honestly, this was the first time I ever did Santa photos.
And you did mention that. And you said part of that was like trying to find a Santa?
Yeah, timing wise, really like in the photography industry, if you're wanting to do a Santa experience, you need to start that back in June or July. You need to start with getting the photos then so you can create them and have all the marketing worked out, things like that. And as a one-person operation, that's difficult.
Okay, wait a minute. I have questions for you. You are not allowed to answer yet. I'm looking at Kenny.
I'll shut up. I have Jameson Black, which we haven't talked about yet, but go ahead.
And you have a lot of it. Why did you pour so much?
I didn't pour so much. Somebody else poured it for me.
Lubrication for conversation.
This goes back to the very opening to this podcast when we were talking about lubrication.
Okay, so you did some promo photos. I guess that was back in what, like September?
Yes,
Did you play Christmas music?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
And like Nell didn't humbug you at that, or?
No, she was very excited.
Oh man, I was trying to get Pete and Debs to play some Christmas music before their songs or their shows.
Oh.
I couldn't get them to do it. Next year.
You gotta understand, Kelly had cookies though.
Yep.
So that
Cookies.
Yeah,
make a
Kenny and Elle
difference.
came to my studio, and they did photos. They were very gracious with their time and coming, and yeah, I wanted them to have the real experience, and I needed to like set the mood. And so Christmas music it was.
it was perfect.
On a Tuesday in September.
Hey, I think they were great photos. They were
Thank
great
you.
promo shots you did.
Yeah.
But so you're saying you would need to start that in like June or July?
For using a real bearded Santa, for sure. You need to start that. Like, it's a process to have that type of experience, to have it at the level that I would want to have it at.
Well, I mean, I can pass on Mrs. Claus's information.
She gave me a card.
Excellent. Excellent.
Mrs. Claus is a businesswoman.
Yes, she is.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Oh, my gosh. Yes. Between the two of them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love her.
Well,
She-
it
she's
was
great.
a great experience, like doing those photos, Kelly. It was like, yeah, it was September, so it was early for but like when you got into the moment, like you weren't thinking that it was September. You were in the moment. And so this episode is releasing like the first week of December. So what I will say is like you still have openings to do photos like that. So yeah,
I could.
so if you're
It's not,
still,
I could.
yeah,
I could.
if you're looking for Christmas photos, like family type photos,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
it's a cookie baking theme is what it is.
And those were cute
and it's
photos.
yeah.
it's fun. It's fun.
And that's what I wanted, because a lot of people don't do photos. They don't do the family photos because they make it difficult, really. Like, like, oh, we got to have the right outfits, and we got to do this, and we got to do that. And, and so I felt like the cookie baking set, it was relaxed, and you could come and you could, wear your favorite, matching jammies, or, like you could be comfortable.
Which is what we did.
Yeah, like you don't have to wear a tie or a suit or anything like that. So, yeah, I wanted it to be fun and different. So,
And Kelly had cookies.
homemade cookies.
Cookies.
She is for a cookie. All right. So since we're promoting this event, I mean, what does it cost to hire you as a photographer for something like that?
For the Christmas
For
the Christmas photos?
Yeah, someone says they want to have either a Christmas or a family photo session for you. What does that look like?
Okay. So if it were to be just a single family photo, like if it's a one-time, deal, it would probably start around $250 for the photo session. And then
Is that like a full hour photo session?
so that would be the goal, like up to an hour. Usually there's someone in the group that is just like done after 5 minutes. So it's really identifying who that person is and making sure that, I would get all the photos that were wanted for that time with that person included. And then, just taking photos until everybody else was done. So, yeah.
I was that person, but she just kept giving me cookies.
Well, that was actually going to be my next question.
I
Between Kenny
tried.
and Nell.
I tried to get Kenny to dance, and the photos of Kenny dancing were
Nobody wants that.
We're paid.
Nobody wants that.
We're paid to keep things off the internet like that.
Me dancing. No good.
we'll just say he tried. He tried. Kenny tried.
To dance?
Yeah, something like that. He was. Let me just say, he was moving his arms.
I like how the description of that was like, Kenny, I feel like I have to defend you.
No, you don't have to.
Oh, man.
No, I can't dance.
Well,
There's no need to defend me.
well,
It is unnecessary.
you danced enough to seduce your wife. That's all you needed.
I don't think it had anything to do with dancing.
Okay, your mating ritual was bowling. Let's move on.
You're weirdly correct. So, okay. This seems like a good time to mention two things. The first being, this is going to be the first ever Raw episode of the Drunk Squirrel, which means
Is this a cage match?
Yes, it is. Yeah, this is a hardcore match, WWE style,
MMA.
MMA.
Oh.
What you are hearing right now, what is in your ears as a listener, is exactly what happened inside this room, unedited.
Within the past 48 hours.
Yes, because this is happening.
It's happening.
Yes, it's happening. It's happening in a shorter window than we normally do it. So it's going out, the way it is.
It's not like there was a major birthday in your life and then a major holiday in all of our lives.
Yeah, I just
And
feel
plenty of disruption in between.
yeah, this is what it is.
It is what it is. It's good.
The timing is.
I always say, I always am a proponent of starting messy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ooh.
sometimes,
Wait. Tell me more.
Yeah. So, like, when people want to start a business or start something, people get held back because they don't feel like they don't have enough information. They don't know enough. So then they don't start. But the point is, start messy. Start with what you know and then go from there. So that's why I say start messy.
So this is why you and Nell run content workshops.
There we go. Yes, that is why.
Sorry, you said that, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I've heard Nell say similar things.
Yes. Yeah.
And so this is how you two have been. Okay, I can see.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to get into that. Was going to be the next thing that I was going to do. And also the relationship that you and Nell have built, which is, it's fun to see from the outside looking in because it was something that happened very naturally.
It did.
But before we get there, because we do this all the time, Rob, what are
yes.
we drinking?
I'm drinking water.
No, you're
No, you're not.
No, you are not.
My mother's listening. She doesn't know I drink alcohol.
I doubt that.
Has she ever listened to...
Has she ever believed me?
Yeah.
She knew you were drinking alcohol in...
You were probably drinking alcohol in 6th grade.
Yes, I was. I grew up Episcopalian. It was communion wine.
What was the episode where you told me that you
It was somewhere
you
around
guys,
12.
You guys all stuffed Grandpa in the cremator
jeez,
thing?
that was like 2 episodes ago.
Okay, so we know better, and so does Mom. But Kelly is drinking.
Oh, can I say it?
Yes.
I'm drinking salted caramel moonshine from the Triple Nickel Distillery in Weedsville, Pennsylvania.
And Kelly happens to have a case of this, not here.
Not here.
That was impressive that you didn't stumble once. Like, good job.
Thank you.
So we were at Craig's house last night. The guy who canceled on us.
Yeah, well, wait, what? He does exist?
He does exist, yes.
Oh, my gosh.
And he had, so, he has the full bar out in the barn and everything. He had some triple nickel stuff. Nell kind of spotted it. She's like, oh.
She made the connection.
Yeah, she did. So,
But it's probably not as good as...
yeah,
They have a lot of stuff, but
yeah,
the salted caramel moonshine has won them awards.
with Kelly.
Yeah. And other people that
and
matter.
other people.
Hey,
The award people.
the award people.
sometimes that's all that counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's award people.
So we are drinking a bottle that I stole from Craig's bar over the summer.
This is his punishment for not coming.
That's right. We said that we would
Sucks
open
to be
this
you,
up
Craig.
or he could get it back when he came on the podcast, and we had him scheduled.
And the cigar bar is not done anyway yet.
Yeah,
So
that's true. So we're drinking a bottle of Jameson Black taken from Craig's personal bar. So, Craig, thank you for the alcohol tonight.
yeah, we appreciate
We miss
it.
your conversation.
We're enjoying it.
I think you're having a better one.
Ooh.
Kelly laid down the gauntlet.
Well, I mean, you said this is a raw episode.
more
So
fun.
dun, dun, dun.
It's raw. Like, it's Sunday Night Raw.
That's right.
Oh,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. SmackDown. All right. So that's what we're drinking. Kelly,
Yes.
how did you get connected in with Nell with this whole bit? I mean,
That's a deep question.
oh, wow.
So I will say that
Boudoir photography?
No,
Oh.
no. Nell and I know someone mutual, and Nell came to me for photos when her and Kenny were starting Enticing Media, and so
Oh, I remember those headshots.
yeah,
Yeah.
I did them. Yeah, so I've known Nell since then, and we just have kind of grown our friendship over the course of, I don't know, like 2-3 years, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's about right.
Yeah. And then when they started the radio show, you know, I've listened to the radio show On the Road with Kenny and Nell Thursday nights on Sandcastle Radio. Download the app.
Which, hey,
Listen via the web.
shout out to Pete and Debs, because, I mean, they phoned in while we were getting warmed up. And
Yeah. So I started listening to them when they started the radio show and really just supporting them. And so, you know, things kind of grew also from that as well. Yeah. So that's kind of the Cliff Note version of how things happened.
Hey, that works. And I mean, here you are now,
Here I
stuck
am.
in the back room with Kenny and I. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
As the backup guest, but that's okay.
As the backdoor guest.
I'm not salty about it. No, I'm just kidding.
You're
As
not
you said
salty about it. You're salty caramel
I'm
about it.
salty
There you
caramel,
go.
yeah.
Hey, you can be salty as much as you
I'm
want.
just giving you guys a hard time.
The guest in the chair is better than the guest at home. Craig.
Oh.
Actually, he's not at home, but still, we miss you, Craig.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're thankful for you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Yeah, very much so. It actually couldn't have worked out any better.
No.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be, and you know, because earlier today I was like, you're gonna, like, literally dawned on me that you were gonna be with Kelly this afternoon doing these photos, and Kelly was coming here afterwards because you know, Kelly's moving and selling her house and that kind of thing. So
Well, and I mean, you got stuck with the youth director over at St. Andrews. I mean, you deserve a drink.
There we go.
That guy's an idiot.
she deserves a bottle.
Several.
No, but yeah, this was it feels like it was meant to be, which is
You know
which
what?
is great.
And some days, that's what you need.
Yeah.
The chaos that works out in a different way, and you go, that's what we needed.
That's what we needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we've harassed about boudoir photography a little bit. All right, and
I don't do that.
Kelly doesn't actually do that.
I don't
by the
do
way.
that.
And we were questioning you on that, you know, within the grayscale of, well, what is that limit? What does that even look like? Because I have to assume you've gotten questions like that. Will you take pictures of me in these compromising situations?
Actually, I haven't actually, because most people
Really?
know that I don't do that.
Wow.
I've only had, when I started in photography, I had one person ask me,
Kenny.
and
Sorry.
It wasn't me.
He wanted photos in his whitey tighties.
Yes.
was that around our time to start the OnlyFeeds page?
Don't knock it until you see it.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Yeah. So when I first started in photography, you know, I thought I would, you know, give it a go, see if I liked it or not, and I didn't necessarily love it. So I was like, yeah, I don't think this is something I want to do. So I don't do it.
Yeah, I've had a friend who was in photography for a while, and you know, they got a lot of questions like that. Well, can you do these pictures for me?
Most
No.
people don't know what to call it. They don't, like, they'll call it like,
Can you do awkward naked selfies?
yeah,
of
they're
me?
like, I want photos for so and so, but I don't really want them like naked, but like I want to be wearing, you know, something. And I'm like, oh, that's called boudoir. And so then I kind of educate them on that.
And I don't do that.
And I don't do that. So there
keep
we
your
go.
clothes on.
Yeah.
Yes, the Christmas photos that Kelly does are fully clothed.
What were you wearing? I mean, that was like
No-
a nightie.
You don't put like icing on yourself or anything like that.
That's another photographer.
That's not Kelly.
Gosh.
You know, this flows very easily with no planning, which is most of our episodes are no planning.
We have a plan?
No, we don't. That's what I'm just saying. But it's
confused.
Kelly, so it flows easily.
It's
It's
easy.
nice. Yeah. It just it's a compliment.
I'm the backup guest, so that's why.
Compliment. She's
Well,
the back
you know
door
what?
guest.
As the backup guest, I think you have an open invitation
Okay.
to any time.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
The anytime guest.
All
The
right.
anytime backdoor guest.
You can be the anything.
I have no idea what that is anyway, but there you go.
But
Well,
Wait,
it's
what did
actually
I just
Kenny.
invite her to?
Kenny is the OG on the Backdoor Famous. So that's how it started.
I feel like there should be some explanation here.
Kenny.
It's her. You ask her.
I'm not asking anything anymore.
No. So we were
Nell.
out a few weeks ago. It was Kenny and Nell, and my husband and I were out. We were listening to someone who I've had on my show, and who I work with on a regular basis for photography.
Can we say her name?
Carrie Edwards.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. So she's a local singer, songwriter, entertainer in the Lancaster area. And she was playing at the VFW in Mount Joy, and we were able to get in. And I don't know, we were having a conversation about your show, I think, Kenny. And
I don't remember the context.
well, you wouldn't for reasons.
Social lubrication.
Yeah, for sure.
I was lubricated.
We were having a conversation about, I think, your show, Flip Flops and Beer, and how, and what I really meant was like you're like low key famous, like kind of under the radar famous, right? But I used the term backdoor. Okay. So I did it to myself.
This is
So
why I
you
told
called
you to
him-
ask Kelly.
Yeah.
You called him
Backdoor famous. Yeah. Like kind of like you're like secretly famous is what I really meant. Yeah.
Dude, you have got to own that somewhere.
Yeah. So, and then that just turned into some other statements.
No, there it is. When you get business cards like that are solely yours for
yeah.
enticing media,
But I'm
or
I'm backdoor
any of the-
famous.
you got to put Kenny backdoor famous.
Well, it has branched out now because now there's the LLK.
LLK, yeah. So what? a week
I don't
ago?
know how that came
Oh,
about.
because I said living like Kenny. Because Nell and I were on the radio for 3 hours.
That's right. That
And
was her birthday weekend.
It was her birthday weekend, yeah. Nell and I filled in for Debs and Pete on Sandcastle because they have a show, Weekend Chit Chat, and they were on the road coming up here. And so they asked us to do their show. And I will say we pretty much hit it out of the park.
Well, I'm going to stop you right
Yeah.
there. You can continue. You knocked it out of the park 100%.
Yeah. We
I
were
listened to that entire show intentionally because there was build up, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot going on that weekend.
Yep.
And you guys absolutely crushed it.
Yep.
Crushed it.
So then, because then my show comes on right after Debs and Pete. So Nell and I were on the radio for 3 hours that day. And oftentimes Kenny will do 3 hours or sometimes more for Flip Flops and Beer. And I said, we're living like Kenny. So, yeah.
So
Who does that?
Wednesday night, pre-Thanksgiving,
Yes.
my house is chaos. We're getting everything, prep that we need to take down to the family for Thanksgiving, and things are going in and out of the oven. And I'm sitting there. It's like 8:30 at night, and the you don't have one in the room, but the Alexa is still playing.
Oh, yeah. There's one over here, actually.
Oh, I didn't
Over-
trigger it, did
Yeah.
I?
No, you're good.
Sorry, we call it the robot in the house.
Well, I mean,
And I'm sitting there, and I'm
you're
going,
not wrong.
She who shall not be named.
Yeah, she who shall. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there, and I'm like, holy crap, Kenny's still going. Okay.
Yep. We
Yeah.
were LLK that day, living like Kenny.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that was great because that weekend I got to meet Pete and Debs
Yep.
in person, in the flesh. That was great.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah, that was a
It was a
whole-
great weekend.
That was a whole thing.
It really was.
It really was. I mean, Kelly might as well have moved to Lebanon that weekend.
Yeah, if I wouldn't have had to stay home, I think we started our coal stove. Yeah, so I just stay home, or like I had to be home to, like tend to the coal stove in the morning and the evening. Otherwise I probably just would have brought my air mattress and stayed here.
You were here all day Friday.
I was here
Literally all day.
Like that, like all day plus. Like I was here. I think I got here around 9:30 on Friday morning, and I don't think I left until after 10.
Wow,
That's a lot.
That's a lot of Kenny. And
I wasn't here the whole time.
He wasn't here the whole day.
Oh, that's right. He has to work for a living.
Yeah. I was working.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah.
And I hung out.
Sorry, no, that's not a dig at you. That's just a pick on Kev.
Yeah,
Kenny.
I worked till like 2 or something like that.
Yeah, and I hung out because I was waiting for Debs and Pete to get here.
Yeah.
And so,
and Pete drives slow, so it took him forever to get here.
Yeah.
Hi, Pete.
I thought I don't know. I thought I drove slow. Like I'm, a traffic law obeyer mostly, when it comes to speed limit.
Yeah.
But
I will confess nothing that is recorded or that my mother listens to on my driving habits or patterns. I love your mother.
I mean, we all have them. But no, to get back to that, you were here Friday all day.
Yes.
Left late Friday.
Yes.
Because Pete and Debs didn't get here till 9-ish, something like that.
It was close. I think it was like close to 8.
Okay. It was pretty late. Mm-hmm. And then Saturday was
Nell's party.
So you got here early afternoon.
I think I got here like around 1.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. And I didn't leave until Saturday night house party was over. So I don't think I left until like 11:30.
Oh, and that was, that's a late one too.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday you were back.
I was back.
You brought Alton
and I
time.
brought Alton, yes.
And Pete cooked us Cuban food, which was amazing.
Yep.
And so we hung out. Nell's parents were here. We had a really good time.
Yeah, it was nice.
On Sunday. It was just...
I want Cuban food. Pete, come back.
Yeah, he will. If you could draw up a weekend, though, that's a pretty good one.
Whoa. Yeah, it was...
I mean, it's exhausting, but...
Well, I can only imagine what it was like for you guys, because you were the epicenter of like all of the activity.
It was great, though. I mean, yes, it's a lot, but it's also when you have a bunch of people in the space that you want to be around, then it doesn't seem so bad.
It's different than...
I feel like that's something that they would thrive in. Like, yes there are moments you need the downtime, but like they want to be that hard.
It's a different feeling than when my mother-in-law would come visit.
It's not the same thing. You're right.
No, I would like get a pain in my arm.
I get it. 100% get it.
I will say nothing that I know family listens to.
People that have in-laws that they mutually like are lucky.
I do.
You're lucky.
I do.
Yes.
So I realize that I'm lucky, and Rob is empty.
I'm just sitting here
If
quietly.
you would have poured yourself
the social lubrication
liquor the way you poured mine, you wouldn't have this problem.
If you text Nell, she's out in the kitchen or something, she might bring you something.
Well, rumor has it Kenny and I are gonna go for a round 2, so I'm kind of
we're gonna
saving myself.
All right,
we're gonna do round 2, and speaking of that, so I promised Kelly, because I know also Kelly's got to get home.
Yeah.
And so I promised Kelly that we would keep this to a normal time, and we're about to hit 35 minutes. So I think we should, do our, start to wrap this up.
All right. Okay. So Kelly, I hit him with this blind, apparently. Oh. Every time.
Why do you say apparently?
Because every time you say the exact same thing. Oh,
you're right.
Why do you do this to me? So I'm going to ask you.
You are right.
What is Kenny's Nuggies of Wisdom? And yes, there's a hand motion that goes with this too. I'm sorry.
That just reminds me of that reel I sent you the other day for the giblet or the giblet spa.
The giblet spa. It's basically a spa for your genitalia.
What?
But my concern is, hold on, Rob. Nope.
Is this like a ball washer at the golf course? Stick them in and scrub.
Rob, this is a giblet washer. Rob, my concern is when you... This is tough. When I'm not editing this. This is raw. When you said Kenny's Nuggies of Wisdom,
and you did the motion.
You held out your hand like my nuts were in your hand.
I've done this every time.
And I'm
It's been 2
concerned.
years.
I'm concerned as to why
So
you're cupping the balls.
So for 2 years, you finally noticed that this is what I do every time. I'm like, what are Kenny's Nuggies of Wisdom?
This was the first time I noticed it. I guess I'm not observant. Anyway.
So have you ever heard of the Darwin Awards?
The who?
The Darwin Awards?
No.
Okay. It hasn't been updated for a while, but it is a website devoted to people who have removed themselves either through death or general stupidity. Most times, even the death involves general stupidity.
I was going to say, aren't they one and the same?
From the gene pool.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And there's a story somewhere on the Darwin Awards website about a guy who was out golfing and had 12 or 20 beers.
Had 1 or 2 12.
Yeah. And decided that, well, it says a ball washer.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
So he decided to, well, give himself a good old scrub. And balancing on the park bench definitely didn't balance well. And removed himself from the gene pool.
I was saying, how did he get up there?
Do you really want to ask?
I mean...
Or do you just want to camp with, you know what? The gene pool is a little bit deeper, and the shallow end is a little bit less shallow now.
Wow.
So what about your giblet washer?
I'll send it to you.
I don't want to use one you use.
I'm not going to send you mine. And for the record, I don't have one.
Wait a minute, you
But
said
Kenny
yours
did say
first.
he did say though he's gonna put it on his Christmas list.
Yeah. That would be a great gag gift to get somebody.
Oh my gosh, yes it would be.
That would be an amazing gag gift to get somebody.
Okay.
All right.
Woo. That was a rabbit hole.
It happens on this podcast.
But it was all Rob's fault because he did the little.
I've been
Again.
doing that for years.
He did the little charades move with his hand and acting like he
Kenny,
was.
what's your Nuggies of Wisdom?
Yeah,
And I'd
I
like to-
just couldn't.
I'd like to point out that before we started, he said that I'm the one usually that I have to edit things out.
Well, it's most definitely me tonight.
So
So what is your...
So a Kelly nugget of wisdom, is that what you're asking?
Rob wants Kelly's Nuggies.
Whoever's Nuggies of Wisdom. What do you got?
A nugget of wisdom. I think I'm gonna go back to the starting messy thing.
Ooh.
Yeah. If you're someone out there who you're listening and you want to get something started, you have an idea, just do it. Start messy and figure it out from there. You don't have to have everything perfectly aligned. Just get going, because I built my business from absolutely nothing. So one time in this world, Kelly Johnson Photography did not exist. And I'm not a business in a box. And I built it from the ground up. I started messy, and I've been learning as I've been going. So.
And hey, the work you did today was phenomenal.
Thank you.
So, I mean,
It was my pleasure.
10 for 10 will recommend.
I will say it did my heart good.
Oh my gosh, today did my heart
Yeah.
good too.
Absolutely.
So I walked out of the church tonight when everything was cleaned up and everyone had left, just laughing and crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Christmas season, it's different for my family, because we're not having a Christmas tree, and not because we don't not because we're humbugs, but because we're moving.
Yeah.
And so we just didn't want to go through that. It was just another layer of stress. We're not doing presents because we're buying a house. So to be present and observe what I observed today was it was pretty amazing.
And I'll say this. Working in the community we are in, working with a lot of these people I know that there's stress behind wanting a photo with Santa and not being able to afford a photo with Santa.
Yep.
So what you helped do today, like I'm eternally grateful for that, because I know what people walked away with, and I know what a gift that is to them, and that's huge.
Yep.
And hey, the encouragement I'll give you is that there's a life with chapters. This is a piece of wisdom that I picked up on, and the chapter you're in is transition.
It is. It certainly is.
But it sounds like there's a lot of good.
Oh, yes,
that's
absolutely.
right around the corner. So transition can suck, but you know what? There's good.
Yep.
That's about to begin.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
Yeah.
There's beauty to that, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for reaching out to me and asking me to be a part of it.
Oh my gosh. I mean, again, Kenny and Nell are a great resource for many things. And I mean, they give me a recommendation. It's okay. There's 100% trust of, if I can do that, that's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
And, starting messy kind of leans into where we're at, because we're closing out year 2.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, Kenny.
Honestly,
you just sat there for a second, oh, who am I? What am I doing?
No, I was taking it in, honestly. That was the one moment where Kenny's Nuggies of Wisdom was pawned off on somebody else, and I came up with a whole bunch of stuff.
A whole bunch of stuff?
Well, okay, I'll say 2 things, then we are gonna wrap this up. But 2 things really quick. First off, as your conversation, there should never be a moment where a child can't get a photo with Santa Claus due to money.
Right.
10,000% behind you on that.
Ever. Okay, that's the first thing. And secondly, it's great on the outside looking in to see a collaboration amongst people that from different walks a little bit, from different friendships coming together, and just to know that that collaboration is happening, and that I don't know, maybe I can't I'm not coming up with the right words there for that.
It makes you feel good that you made a connection.
Yeah, but I didn't even make the connection.
Well,
Rob, you didn't reach out and say, "Hey, do you know a photographer?" I guess what's cool is Rob's paying attention enough to know that he didn't need to ask that question, because he knew what the answer was going to be. He just went directly to you. He didn't say, "Hey, you know a photographer?" He knew we knew a photographer, and he knew who to go to.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's I knew I would ask Nell and you, and I would get a resource.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the resource would be exactly, but I knew it would be a good one. And, what you and Nell with Enticing Media did in this season was help make a lot of good happen.
Yep.
In a lot of people's lives today. And you shake your head at me, and I'll call bullshit.
What did we do?
You made a connection.
You at St. Andrews and Kelly.
But I knew there was one direction I could look, and I would get a good connection that I had a level of trust in.
Well, I'm happy that you feel that way.
Feel that way? Shoot, you've earned it. You and Nell and what you guys have done. I knew in asking the questions, I knew what I would get.
You're trying to make me cry.
I see the little glistening. I've been crying all day.
It's amazing. In the season, and I know that you want to wrap up, Kenny, but
no, I was
in this season. It's people get so stressed out for all sorts of reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta buy this, gotta buy that. I need this, I need that. But what I will say is that if you can find an event, an activity that is the outcome is just pure joy for other people, that just brings a whole other level of meaning to this season and time of year.
And I know today, I mean, there's one moment that we talked about and we shared, and we can't go into that too much just yet. That was that.
Oh,
was
my.
Pure joy and
Yep. There was some dust in the air at the
crying,
time.
You're crying.
There was dust in the air at the church or something at the time. My winter allergies were getting the best of me, and
I heard the allergies were a problem at church today.
My eyes were leaking like a little bit. So yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone who was standing in that vicinity was feeling that.
Yeah.
At that moment.
That was an amazing moment.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys were talking about it, and it's like, and it's hard not to hear about it and get a little like choked up.
And the other thing, it also brings into perspective, like what you have, like as a person, like what you have inside your home. And
it's easy to compare and lose sight of what surrounds you.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that where you were going with
I
that?
think so. It's like, many of us are lucky enough to be able to, oh, you know what? I need this. Let me just go on Amazon and order it. Or let me go to Target and I'm just going to go get this. There's people that don't have those opportunities. And it really brings into perspective, like, what do you actually really need in your life?
And I'll offer a flip side because I've been seeing this more, and in the past 4 years, what has been ministry has shifted for me. And I've seen that in the community I'm connecting in and the comparisons that are made, but then how a connection can be made in a genuine way that brings equality and grace to everyone involved and builds up a community. And I mean, that's a huge piece of what happened today.
Yeah.
Is just being able to provide photos with a really damn good Santa.
Yeah.
To just bring that equality and grace to community.
There was another time I was just thinking of when I was able to really bring joy to someone else's life through a photo. And I have been a mentor in my school district. And it's a internal mentoring program that my school district has. And I was matched with a girl when she was in first grade. And I was her mentor up until COVID. When COVID happened, the program it took a pause. And then just because of the situation with my business and whatever, I wasn't able to go back. But before that, I don't know, I think she was maybe in I think she was in third grade. And her birthday, I think is right around Nell's birthday. And I printed her a photo of ponies, the wild ponies at Assateague, because she always talked about horses. And it was a photo that I was just lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time. When we went out on the beach at Assateague, there was this herd there. I took the photos, and I had showed her the photo on my Facebook page, and she was like, "Oh, Miss Kelly, I love that photo. I love it so much. I love horses." Well, I printed it for her. And I framed it for her birthday, and I gave it to her. And to see the look on her face when she opened it, and I gave her a card with it, and she was like, "Oh, Miss Kelly, no one's ever given me a birthday card."
Wow.
So to bring joy, this brings me back to why I do what I do. And, it's to bring joy to people. And, never in my life did I ever imagine that, that could be done with a camera.
Kenny, you need to dust your house more often.
I know, this place is so dusty.
Winter allergies in here.
We just don't,
man.
I mean, we don't clean. Never clean.
All right, so we need to land here.
Look, I get it, Rob, because for the what seems like the most ridiculous reason to me, I was really upset when Debs and Pete left yesterday morning, and it wasn't the fact that just they left; it was the fact that the community that we had for a week, seemed like a week,
was
like that was ending.
Sure.
So it wasn't the fact that just they were leaving. It was a culmination of like a lot of things put together.
Well,
So,
I can come and stay in your spare room if you want.
I mean, at some point you might
Hey, I
have
had
to
said-
if there's a transition period.
And I told you earlier today, I was like, hey, if you drink enough with Kenny and I tonight, they have a spare room.
Yeah, we do, and I just washed the sheets, so because
Okay,
God
that's
knows what Pete and Debs did on them. Okay, because we have to keep it somewhat lighthearted.
But yeah, for sure.
So
All right. Whew. This is gone places.
It has. We've covered a lot of things,
And
I feel like, for not having a plan.
Kelly,
We never
thank
have a
you
plan.
for we never have a plan. But Kelly, thank you for the amount of good you breathed into my community,
Sure.
my church, and the moment that we had today.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal. And I am beyond thankful for that.
Absolutely.
And I think the best way to end this is to quote Kelly's shirt.
I go for it.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. And cheers.
And definitely cheers. I want to mention though, we want to give a shout out to some supporters of the show, Three Legacies
Oh, yeah.
Wrestling and Big Spring Spirits.
Absolutely.
Right here in Central PA. They have the official whiskey of the Drunk Squirrel podcast, and Three Legacies Wrestling. That just goes without saying. So
And the official body slam of
The
the Drunk Squirrel.
the official body slam of the Drunk Squirrel. So anyway, thank you, Kelly. Appreciate
Yes,
you
it was my pleasure.
being here,
Yes.
and we will see you again in 2 weeks.
Cheers.
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 Thanks for listening to The Drunk Squirrel. No need to pay a tab. Just be sure to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and drop us a line, thedrunksquirrel82@gmail.com. Cheers.